for them. How can they maximize the amount of gold that we can get someone like Sara on this Italy? Because Karthus is not particularly very dangerous in the early game, and you can invade.
With being picked by Zhatsu in game number 1, not a possibility. But instead, he's going to be the target on the Aatrox this time around. Pops the world ender, but the rest of his squad has arrived. Jue just gets caught under the turret, and it's RNG picking up first blood.
Uh-oh, so that's it. So Dragon started up here for RNG. They're going to take this objective and maybe look for something in mid. Care and Sora are on their way, but they're walking straight into the arms of RNG.
Lola looking to try and punish here.
There let's go, Lola!
Tangyuan all the way from underneath his own turret. Care just goes down. Jachi gets on the board. And so RNG, despite all the shenanigans that have been happening in the jungle, find themselves up 2 kills, up a dragon, up a little bit of gold, and 8. So not too big of a difference in terms of XP right now. The big thing is that Milky Way has the Requiem now, and so we'll be able to impact the map, get a little bit of damage chunks down in any area, no matter if he's farming or part of the gank himself. Next spawn of grubs available. FPX certainly want to pick this up to get themselves closer to that piece of strength. And they're going to start with an engage onto said jungler. Milky Way gets bursted down with the help of Jue, and a big fate sealed. It's going to try to turn things around for RNG. Already 2 are dead on the other side. Jiaozu with the World Ender unlocked will heal a ton, but is not going to escape the wrath of Care, who now is just eviscerating people with the Gatling gun in the front line. That is another kill for Care. Bot flashing over. That's the counter aggression we were talking about, but Jachi will answer right back with a kill of his own. The 80 carry duel goes RNG's way. Sheer trying to take him down and will, despite the rocket jump lumbing through. Tangyuan flashes over. We got chaos in the mid lane. It's 10 kills
so far in this series. And fun to watch, especially for a region that has produced so many great 80 carries in the past. So only nice to see the new class of marksman players coming on through from the LPL. But for the time being, it's going to be Tangyuan actually soloing the Dragon for his team. And that'll put them at 2 epic monsters. We have the Dragon spawning in 5. We have Herald in a minute. That right, very easy for him to just walk up and delete a turret. So that right there, got to show a bit of respect to your opponents. And we'll see what the setup for RNG is going to look like. They are constantly just kind of pushing out from mid, utilizing this Tristana to get a bit of mid push, but Herald is now up, and we're going to start to do our little dance.
Not the Baron, but still a big objective, especially in, for somebody like RNG. You have a lot of turret taking power with the Tristana, with a burst open mid would be huge. And right now it looks like they could be in that position as Jue just gets one shot. It's Lola picking up the kill, but Jachi did most of that work. But he went aggressive around this area just a few minutes ago.
Oh, Saro, no!
Saro, who might have bit off a little bit more than he could chew, and Zhatsu flashes in with the World Ender and picks up the first reset of the fight for RNG. Care backs away. We'll be able to play these front to back team fights correctly with bot.
They're going to get their turret here.
FPX in a good position, but right now it is RNG leading the charge, setting the pace of this game number 4. They trade towers. Care's able to pick it up.
Wait, who got it first, though?
Sorry.
That they're going to be looking for this. You have Otacon spawning in 20. You have Dragon that is now available, but you have Grubs. Any bit of damage you either do to champions near a turret or just hitting the turret, you should be able to evaporate this, and it's a cannon minion wave. Just look to trade this objective. You'll be stronger potentially on maybe that 4th Dragon. Tangyuan is finishing this objective by himself here.
Yeah, and I don't think FPX really realized it until now with that skirmish being placed. Looks like now
Milky Way
is the option. Milky Way gets caught. He still has the passive, and the Requiem will come out, but that's a big member of RNG dead. Tangyuan in trouble. The Dragon is still alive, and that means that FPX could claim it if they win this fight. Jachi's still alive. So is Zhatsu. Lola looking for potentially an escape route, but not going to find it. Saro picks up the kill. It's 3-0 FPX, and they're not done yet. Jachi has to flash away from the Lily Spear, and Tier 2 is now on the menu for FunPlus Phoenix. Screw the Dragon, they're headed towards Otacon.
Oh my god. Milky Way, we gotta flash these objectives, man. Come on. We can't just be letting the Leona ults land on us. The first time, fine, I can get it. Maybe the hitbox looked a little strange, but that time, dead on to rights. Milky Way gets caught. It ends up being a huge fight for them. Like you said, not going for the Dragon. I think you're perfectly okay with just trading for a voracious Otacon buff in your back pocket here. It's going to be RNG finding themselves at Soul Point here, but that buff is just too OP, and we'll see what they're able to do.
Able to get out of these fights just a little bit earlier. So instead, FPX have the Otacon buff. I'd imagine they really try to force hard for these next couple of minutes when they have this revive available to them. They don't necessarily need the Baron to push that, to have the good push, because they have double marksman here to clear these waves out. Tier 2 now on the menu. Looks like RNG gonna try to find a response.
Got hit again!
Kind, but they already have Milky Way chucked to half HP.
They hit him with a spear and another Leona ult. And this is more of a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation, because if you're Milky Way and they found another engage on you and they potentially look to try to snowball that into a team fight victory, then you're in a situation where it's, do I flash and potentially not have it now that they have Otacon buff? Or do I just say, look, if you find the engage on me, I'm just going to have to tank it. You have the Otacon buff. We just have to outweight this.
And so, you know, with this Baron now spawning in about a minute or so, there's no more revive buff, but FPX still, I think, want to play aggressive here. They want to force RNG's hand while they have a lead.
5 grubs, might as well walk up on this turret and it evaporates like paper. So, they're just trying to get so much damage. Man, Sorrow from Fog of War is just throwing spears and finding HP to take from RNG. And they've got another mini wave cannon this time. Just walk up, get those Void Mites down. Tangwin has been trying to find some answers on the split push, but you're constantly getting mashed by Udyr. It is a lost cause in that manner.
Yeah, I mean, Udyr can take up basically all of Yone's damage right now. It does have the Hull Breaker, so is opting more towards that side laning oriented playstyle, but of course we saw bot on the Jinx also play it and obviously teamfight because it's Jinx. Sheer doesn't know. Alright, this tower's dead. Oh, maybe Jachi is too. Nice buffer from the Zenith Blade. That surely could have meant the AD carry going down and potentially disaster for RNG.
You know, it's a very funny piece of kind of thing you can kind of see on the map is that red buff has been alive for
Speaking of, they're going to get their first dragon, most likely, as Milky Way and the rest of RNG really focused around this Baron pit. Looks like they know that this is happening now as Tongwon has joined the area and actually forces Sorrow out of the pit at least for a little bit. Now the rest of RNG wants to try to respond. FPX surely get this with the smite. Now the question is, can they get out with their lives? Not going to connect, so Tongwon has to flash right back over the wall. Teleport comes in from Care. All 5 members of FPX in the mid lane, and they will all escape with their lives.
That was bold, Tongwon. He's like, hey, I'll just walk over this wall with my ult.
If you are FPX, Sorrow and the gang going to start it up. They think that they have the advantage in a potential fight. Milky Way in the area does still have the flash to get over the pit, despite there being no blast cone in the vicinity. Baron at 9,000 HP. Looks like right now FPX are trying to bait a fight.
Okay, it's a pincer here.
Oh, big engage there for Lola. Jiaozu coming in here with the World Ender as well, but Jachi gets one shot. It's going to be a combination of Sorrow and the support, but look at the Requiem on the other side. That's a double kill for Milky Way, and RNG go 3 for 1. Sure, the ADC's down, but RNG have all 4 of the remaining members on the Baron on their own.
Now they have to reinforce with Tongwon coming in. I was going to say, Milky Way, you got no mana, brother. You do no damage to this objective. It'll take them a little bit to grab it, but now with this Baron buff in their pocket, they should be able to utilize this, move into some of their side lanes, push in, and...
Would have been nice to pick up that turret, but looks like that's not going to happen for a little bit. Question is, what can they do with this Baron buff that lasts for another 2 minutes? It looks like instead they just want to force another fight. Jue going forward. Solar Flare lands onto Jachi, but there's nobody to follow up, and instead it's just Leona going down for free. Zaotsu with the World Ender on is going to get singled out and taken down. It'll be Sorrow picking up the shutdown. Now it's a 4v4. Dragon spawning in less than a minute. Advantage in terms of players that are on the map in this 4v4 go to FPX.
Oh, Milky Way's got to be so careful.
Have teleport in 5 seconds once he respawns. There's a wave bottom if they want to go for an extended flank. Mid-prio now the name of the game as the Dragon has been started up by FPX. Teleport comes in straight through mid. It looks like Jiaozu and RNG going to try to utilize the last minute of their Baron buff to get a couple of objectives in response for the Dragon.
Is up and available again. They really just, guys, Jachi, do the thing.
One auto. That's all you need.
One auto. Milky Way knows. Milky Way just auto attack it, bro. Thank you. All right. So we finally got this top tier 1, but in terms of what it actually team fight, and I will just say for both of these teams, it's been really impressive to see their bottom laners here, because we had a couple of questions as to whether or not like how this matchup was going to look, where we're going to have two kind of scared AD carries to play, and we've seen both of them.
So there's not a ton of major objectives to fight for right now. Jotchi has to rocket jump away as FPX have mid prio and want to pick up this tier 3.
How much can they get for this? 5 grubs here. They'll open up the inhibitor at the very least. I don't know if they'll be able to finish off this entire inhibitor. Tangyun is coming back. Jotchi's still not finished that recall. Milky Way is here to try to defend his base with the rest of the team. As 30 seconds before that dragon, or before that Baron, huge thing to play for.
I mean, I'm just kind of confused why Lola decided to go at that moment. Ended up burning a chunk of his ADC's health bar, as well as just allowing that tier 3 turret to get destroyed because of it. Now FPX have themselves a little bit of a momentum shift in their favor. The goal is still very even. We're at that point in the game where everybody's at their core items. Teleport is coming in now here for Sheer. They know that this Baron is absolutely critical for them to force a game 5.
It's time to do the dance around this mid lane. Now Tangyun is trying to find Q3 over this wall. Gets it off of the Raptors, is able to push Sheer off, and maybe they just try to find Xiaoxia to go and farm one of these waves. Finally, Milky Way invests the flash.
Yeah, because
and it's 45 seconds before another dragon.
This game could have definitely been over. Q3 misses from Tangyun once again. The Nidalee Spears have 4 shots to go back to base and teleport right back into the fight.
By having Care and Sheer on side lanes with 5 grubs and a Baron, they will open up this base and make it very difficult for the side of RNG to play this game. Tangyun is trying to find Q3, but he is in the bottom side. He's going to solo this objective. So RNG need to be creative and stop FPX from immediately obliterating this Baron.
And FPX know they gotta send this quick. Requiem comes out. Let's see how much damage it does. Not too much, especially with the healing and the spell shields. But if that's
Mountain Soul
chunking things in. Mountain Soul now claimed. Can Tangyun get to the fight first? Lola starts the engage onto Care, but he's able to back away. Not a ton of follow-up off of the Alistar. The Baron is still alive.
Oh no, Jotchi!
RNG should be able to get it. Jotchi goes way too far forward, though, and will get shut down. It's a 4v5 on the map in favor of FPX. Milky Way has run out of mana. Milky Way is going to fall. The kill goes over to Care, and Tangyun has to ult away to sit.
Just enough damage from Jotchi to stop him from taking him down, and then Jotchi's just like, okay, I'm jumping forward, puts himself in a really bad spot, and that might just send us to game 5 here, as FPX are now looking to push with this Baron buff and those 5 grubs.
It'll at least be the inhibitor. Tangyun doing a nice job to clear out the wave in mid to make sure it would be way too long until the next wave arrives.
And just decides to go for either the Zephyr or maybe even kind of going for the Merc Tread.
Look at Care!
Oh my god, Care!
Care's dead. Tangyun one-shot him with the Flash Ultimate. That is a big member for FunPlus Phoenix, down for the count for the next 55 seconds and change. 4v5 on the map. Tangyun sending his way back towards mid lane to clear this wave, try to pick up as many objectives as possible. The top lane inhibitor is dead, and mid lane wave is being escorted to try to make it a 2-for-1 special on the inhibs.
And all this time we've been talking about these 2 rookie AD carries, and it is Tangyun who finally finds his angle on this Yone. I mean, the franchise player coming in for RNG, he's been in their development pipeline for such a long time, and he's finally kind of making good. It is a single series that we've been able to see from him. It was a rough 2024. Hopefully with this new roster and this line.
Nice job by Sheer to hold the line at least for now as we await for these objectives to spawn.
Oh my god. This is insane. Like, we're getting a 43-minute game. We're having Elder spawn for the first time here in the LPL for 2025. Baron's up in 10. There are so many objectives. I think right now both teams are more important. You just have to go for this Elder. The fact that it has that execute, with how high damage both of these teams are, you just can't give it over to someone like Nidalee or this Karthus.
That's a big cooldown. Jue throws out the Solar Flare, does not hit anybody. They have to be very careful about the super minions in the top side. They are marching into the enemy base, and because of that, FPX must reset and seed the Elder Dragon over to RNG. It's going to be just bot there to clear things out. That Nexus turret is dead, and now look at Tangyun. Teleports are coming through. RNG might be trying to go for the throat. They have the execute at their disposal, but Tangyun taken down to 50% HP, and will have to back away with the Ignite ticking on top of him. He still has a teleport available if they want to try to go for the throat here. Instead, they also have the option potentially to go towards Baron, but no, they want this game, and they want it now.
They've got a Tristana. I think it's perfectly reasonable. Tongwin finishing off a Mercurial Scimitar. So he wants to make sure that he's off of this.
Gonna escort a wave of super minions in, a nice engage roll up combined with a 2-man Fade Sealed. That is the Corki dead, that is Sorrow dead as well, and that will be the game, and that will be the series. Royal never give up, have a royal start to 2025, and they win the first best of 5 in Group D.
It's a 3-1